Hello and welcome back to Vision Report Videos. In this video, we're going to go over how to add a report parameter or a prompt. In Vision, you can add a parameter or prompt to your report that prompts the user to select a single or multiple values. And then it takes those values that you selected and filters your data displayed in the report. So in this report, or this video, we're going to go ahead and use an inventory because that should be fairly straightforward, and we're all familiar with inventory. So first you select your report that you wish to add a prompt to. Go to the three dots or the More icon and click on Edit. In the upper right-hand area, this little, it kind of looks like a trash can, but it's your data. So click on the data. And we have a lot of fields here that you'd have to scroll through. So an easy way of doing this is just hit this up arrow, and that collapses this area and takes us right to parameters, and that's where we want to go. So I'm clicking on Add a Parameter, and right here, parameter string. And this brings up what makes up a parameter. And I'm going to go ahead and just give it the name location. Does not matter what you put here as long as it's meaningful. So whoever looks at it will know what to expect. But it has no impact on the data. Strictly whatever you wish to. Multi-value, yes. And down here, data set name. There's only going to be one name present. So when I click right here, I see the one name. Now the field, the value, what field do I want this to key off of? And here I'll just take the elevator down till I get to location. And I went too far. And the same thing with label, location. So that's going to be the values for the prompt. Now what do I want it to default to? So again, data set, inventory. And what values do I want to see when I hit the prompt? Again, location. Alrighty, so now look at that as step one. I went into the data and I defined a parameter, and I can add multiple parameters. I'm just adding one, but you can just hit more than you want to. If I wanted to add another parameter, I would just hit the add button, and then that would be a second parameter here. But I don't want to, so I'll hit the trash can. Okay, the next thing is the report properties, the prompt itself. So click on the gear, and right now I'm in the body. I want to select the table. So click anywhere, and then hit this little 4-arrow item up here, and that will select the table. So now it says table up here. And I want to filter this table by my prompt. So I'm adding the filter. And this would be for or all of. I want to use this one, add. And again, what value are we filtering the data by? Location. And then here, because there is multiple locations, use the NIN. That means it's within those parameters that we'll be selecting. Hopefully that'll make sense in a second. And then click over here and on the three dots. And we've only defined one parameter so far, so location. And that's it. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our parameters. So I don't see any parameters here, so I'm going to generate my view. And there's a preview of my location. So let's hit preview up here. And that should bring up my report, and it should bring up the prompt right about here, which it did. So if I hit preview now, I'll see the report with all locations. And see how you have SRV and LM down here? But I just want to see SRV. Hit the drop down. I like to click and click. That unselects everything. And now I just select the one I want, LRV. However you want to click and unclick is up to you. Now don't get fooled on this one. If you hit the refresh button, I would have thought that it would refresh my data. But as you can see, no, it did not. It's the preview. I hit that, then it's going to use the information in the prompt to just return LRB. And again, now we have LRB. So that's how you add a prompt. Now, one kind of a bonus thing, that took a little bit of time to do that. If you ever notice your reports take a little bit of time, let's go ahead and go back to home and show you a way of speeding that up a bit. So again, I'm going to go to Data Sets, and I'm going to click on this little pencil right here. And I want to filter the data I'm getting at. So say you have 5,000 units, but 4,000 of those are FS. Well, you don't want to see those in the reports. You only want to see the things that are available. So you don't need to have the report take the time to filter through all the FSs by your prompt. This happens first, your prompts happen second. Hopefully that's clear. So when I put something here, let me X on this one. To speed up a report, you filter your data set. I only want the data, my prompts, to work on a smaller scale of data. Right now, it's working on every bit of data in the system. So if there's 5,000 units, and 4,000 of those are final sold, when I hit my prompts, it's going through those final sold, and this is a unit available report. I don't need the final sold. So I'm hitting Edit, filtering, status code. Oop, I already had that in there. Let me get rid of it for a second. So this would have been blank if I wouldn't have had that in there. You hit Add, take the elevator down, select status code, and not equal to FS. So this is going to grab all units from the database that aren't FS and then apply the prompt values, LMR or whatever prompt values I used, to my results. So it should speed it up a little bit. Now that's one way of doing that, but bottom line, let's say you want to do an OR. Let me get rid of the trash can. I could have come here and said any of these values. So any of, by the way, it's a little bit quicker way of doing it is just type in what you're looking for. Status code is A. Add. So instead of scrolling, I'm just coming up here and entering the name. And as you notice, it doesn't matter that if you do an uppercase or lowercase, it finds it. And SA. And click OK. So now, when I hit Preview, I'm still going to get the prompts for location, but I'm only going to get, and I'll hit Preview for all of them, I'm only going to get units that are not FS, and, sorry, in this instance I hit A and SA. I'm only going to see A and SA. I won't see any O's or SOs when I do that. So let me hit back one more time. So again, to speed up your report, you do the prompts like you saw, step 1 and step 2. But if you want the prompts to work on a smaller data set, then come to Data, Data Sets, hit the Edit button, hit Edit here, and then select what you want to do. Any of these status codes bring back. Now, let's go ahead and get rid of both those. To me, the better way of this, for this instance, would be status code not equal to FS. I would assume most everybody wants to see sold on orders and on orders, even though they're not, quote, available, they are coming in. But But anyway, that's how you do it either way that you want to do that. And when I click OK, and I click on preview, I'll see all units that are there that aren't FS. Now, if you don't mind me taking a second, see how the status is A and SA and so forth. One more thing I want to show you to kind of clear that up. I'm going back to Dataset. I'm going to go to Edit. But this time, I'm going to say equal to FS. Click OK. And click on Preview. And now all I see is FS. So again, that data set filtering speeds up the return of the data to your report, because I told the report, hey, only get data that's FS in this instance and give me the locations. And before, I had everything except for FS. And of course, if you have nothing in there, then it's going to grab all data from all time. And that is how you add a parameter or a prompt to a report. And I thank you very much, and have a good day.